We've all had moments where a single whisper, a hushed rumor, or a passing comment flipped our world upside down. It's that powerful, yet often underestimated force of our words and actions that can make or break the very essence of our relationships. Today, we're going to explore just how profound these impacts can be. We'll dive into some habits that might seem minor on the surface, but have the power to dismantle the respect others have for us. Drawing from the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, we will not only reveal these habits, but also arm ourselves with the tools to transform them. Stoics teach us the art of living with integrity and mindfulness, qualities that can elevate our personal and professional lives beyond the ordinary. By the end of our time together, you'll see your daily interactions in a new light, perhaps with a renewed sense of how to nurture respect and trust in every step you take. Stay with me as we unfold these habits and learn how to replace them with actions that lead to a more respected and fulfilling life. If you appreciate the insights and stories we share here, a simple, free favor I'd ask of you is to hit that subscribe button and make sure you don't skip any part of the video, as every moment is packed with value you won't want to miss. Habit 1. Gossiping. Gossiping might seem like just casual talk, but it holds a powerful influence over how we view and treat each other. Often, what begins as a seemingly harmless chat can quickly spiral into a web of rumors and broken trust. It's important to recognize that every time we choose to share a piece of unverified or personal information, we're not just passing along a story, we're wielding the power to alter perceptions and impact relationships deeply. The philosophy of Stoicism offers a valuable perspective on gossip. Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control, our own actions and responses. Gossiping about others is the opposite of this principle. It involves us in matters that are not our concern and distracts us from focusing on our own moral and personal improvement. Marcus Aurelius advised, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it." This insight is particularly relevant to gossip, which often stems from a place of discontent or judgment, and leads to much greater harm than the initial impulse justifies. Stoicism teaches us about the importance of integrity and authenticity. When we engage in gossip, we stray from these virtues, undermining our character and authenticity. Seneca warned about the dangers of becoming embroiled in the affairs of others. He taught that true tranquility comes from seeking wisdom and self-control, rather than involving oneself in the superficial or malicious narratives about others. From a Stoic viewpoint, every interaction is an opportunity to practice virtue. Instead of gossiping, we should aim to communicate in ways that reflect our values and foster genuine connections. This means engaging in conversations that are constructive, kind, and beneficial for all involved. As Epictetus put it, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Applying this ratio in our daily interactions encourages us to think more deeply about our contributions to conversations, choosing to share only what uplifts and supports communal harmony and understanding. Reducing our involvement in gossip doesn't just prevent potential harm, it also aligns us with a Stoic commitment to living a thoughtful, principled life. It challenges us to elevate our discussions, focusing instead on ideas and actions that contribute positively to our communities and our own moral development. By doing so, we cultivate a life of integrity, respect, and thoughtful silence, where our words are chosen with care and our silences are full of purpose. Habit 2. Being unreliable. This habit is a silent relationship killer. It might not always feel like a significant issue each time we cancel plans or miss deadlines, but over time, these actions accumulate, painting a picture of someone who can't be depended upon. This is more than just a social faux pas. It's a serious breach of ethical conduct that can have lasting impacts on our personal and professional lives. From the perspective of Stoicism, being unreliable conflicts directly with the virtue of trustworthiness. Stoics strive for consistency in their actions and words, believing that reliability is a cornerstone of a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of fulfilling one's duties and commitments. He argued that our actions should align with our words, reflecting our internal moral state and our commitment to the well-being of our community. Reliability also involves the Stoic principle of control. We are urged to focus on the elements of our lives that we can control, our actions, responses, and decisions. Being unreliable typically involves a failure to manage these elements effectively, whether it's poor time management, overcommitment, or a lack of prioritization. These issues are within our control to change. Epictetus taught that we must accept the things we cannot change, but take full responsibility for those we can. In the context of reliability, this means acknowledging the impact of our unreliability and taking decisive steps to amend our behavior. The Stoic practice of self-reflection is crucial in overcoming the habit of unreliability. It involves regularly examining our actions and motives, assessing whether they align with our values and the expectations others have of us. This kind of introspection can help us identify why we fall into patterns of unreliability and how we might correct our course. For instance, if we find ourselves consistently overcommitting, we may need to learn to say no or to better assess our capabilities and the time we have available. Stoicism teaches us about the importance of our social duties. Seneca highlighted the interdependence of human beings and the responsibilities we owe to each other. Being reliable is a fundamental part of fulfilling these responsibilities. It shows respect for others' time and trust, and it contributes to the stability and functionality of our social and professional networks. Tackling the habit of being unreliable requires a blend of Stoic wisdom, self-management, and ethical commitment. It calls for a sincere reflection on our habits and a concerted effort to align our actions with our ethical beliefs. By striving to be more reliable, we not only improve our own lives, but also enhance the lives of those around us, building stronger, more trusting relationships grounded in mutual respect and integrity. Habit 3. Interrupting others. It's a habit that might seem small in the moment, just a quick interjection here or there, but over time it sends a clear message. Interrupting others during conversations is a habit that might seem minor or unintentional, but it has significant implications. It disrupts the flow of communication and can convey a lack of respect or interest in what others are saying. This behavior can alienate friends, colleagues, and even casual acquaintances, undermining our relationships and our own self-expression. Stoicism, which values wisdom and virtue, offers a critical perspective on the habit of interrupting. The Stoic practice of self-control extends deeply into how we manage our impulses to speak. Epictetus emphasized the importance of listening more than speaking. He advocated that we should aim to improve ourselves by learning from what others have to say, which requires patience, attentiveness, and respect for the speaker's thoughts. Interrupting someone is essentially an act of putting our own immediate desire to speak over the speaker's right to express their thoughts uninterrupted. It not only shows a lack of self-control, but also a disregard for the value of others' contributions. From a Stoic viewpoint, every interaction is an opportunity to practice virtue, and actively listening without interrupting aligns with the Stoic ideals of respect and justice, respect for others, and justice in giving everyone their due to speak. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of measured, thoughtful speech. He believed that we should speak only if what we are about to say is true, necessary, and kind. This guideline is particularly relevant to interrupting because it compels us to consider whether our interjections meet these criteria. If not, it is wiser to remain silent and listen, thus respecting the ongoing dialogue and contributing positively when it's appropriate. Stoicism teaches us about the harmony between internal intentions and external actions. Interrupting others can create discord, not just in conversation, but within ourselves. It can lead to feelings of guilt or regret and can distort the natural flow of our interactions. By practicing the Stoic virtue of temperance, moderation in all actions, we can restrain ourselves from speaking out of turn and instead foster a more harmonious exchange of ideas. To overcome the habit of interrupting, it's beneficial to adopt a Stoic mindfulness of our impulses to speak. This involves a conscious effort to observe our behaviors during conversations and to regulate our responses. The Stoic exercise of reflective meditation can be helpful here, allowing us to review our conversations of the day and assess how well we manage to control our impulse to interrupt. Over time, this practice can lead to better self-awareness and improved conversational habits. Addressing the habit of interrupting through a Stoic lens not only improves our interactions, but also our character. It strengthens our relationships, enhances our ability to communicate effectively, and aligns our actions with the Stoic ideals of virtue and respect. By embracing silence as a powerful tool for learning and connection, we embody the wisdom that Stoicism has imparted through the ages. Habit 4. Constant complaining. This is a habit that can quietly seep into our lives. Constant complaining is a habit that may seem harmless or even justified at times, but it has deeper implications on our mindset and the atmosphere we create around us. When we complain habitually, we not only highlight the negatives, but also reinforce a perception of helplessness and dissatisfaction. This continuous focus on the adverse aspects can cloud our judgment and prevent us from appreciating the positives in our lives. Stoicism, with its emphasis on resilience and perspective, offers invaluable insights into managing the tendency to complain. Stoics believe in focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. This philosophy encourages us to look at challenges as opportunities for growth and self-improvement rather than as mere grievances to be voiced. Epictetus pointed out that it's not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments concerning them. This means that by changing our perspective, we can reduce the urge to complain and increase our overall satisfaction with life. Stoicism teaches the practice of gratitude, which is antithetical to complaining. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, often reflected on the virtues of appreciating what one has instead of lamenting what one lacks. He suggested that by acknowledging and valuing the positives, we can shift our focus away from constant criticism towards a more balanced and contented view of our circumstances. Complaining also affects those around us, creating an environment of negativity that can spread discontent and pessimism. Stoics strive for harmony and constructive interactions, recognizing that our words have the power to influence our own spirit and the spirits of others. Seneca wrote extensively on the power of the spoken word and advocated for speech that is uplifting rather than demeaning or trivial. To counteract the habit of constant complaining, Stoicism promotes the cultivation of fortitude and emotional resilience. It teaches us to endure hardships with grace and to seek internal sources of happiness and fulfillment, rather than depending on external circumstances to dictate our mood or satisfaction. By adopting a Stoic attitude, we learn to appreciate life's challenges as part of a larger narrative of personal growth and character development. Practically speaking, reducing complaints involves a conscious effort to recognize when we are complaining and to immediately seek a constructive response or perspective. This might involve reframing a situation to see it in a more positive light, or simply choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems. The Stoic exercise of daily reflection can be particularly useful here, allowing us to review our day and identify moments when we could have responded more positively or constructively. Addressing the habit of constant complaining through a Stoic lens not only improves our individual well-being, but also enhances our interactions and relationships with others. It aligns us with a philosophical tradition that values resilience, perspective, and the pursuit of virtue over the fleeting satisfaction of voicing discontent. Through Stoicism, we find the tools to construct a more contented and impactful life, characterized by gratitude, resilience, and a proactive approach to challenges. As we wrap up today's discussion, it's important to reflect on what we've covered and consider the transformative power these insights hold. The habits we've explored today are more than just bad habits. They're barriers to the kind of life we aspire to lead, one of respect, integrity, and influence. Embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we've seen how each habit can be addressed not just through avoidance, but through the cultivation of positive, virtuous alternatives. Stoicism doesn't just teach us what not to do, it inspires us to actively shape our lives with wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. By seeking to replace these negative habits with thoughtful actions, we build not only a better self, but also a better world around us. Think of this journey as a path to mastering yourself, where every challenge is an opportunity to practice virtue. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. So, when faced with gossip, choose dignity. When tempted by unreliability, choose commitment. When you find yourself interrupting, choose patience. And when you feel like complaining, choose gratitude. This approach will not only change how others view you, but how you view yourself. It leads to a deeper satisfaction that comes from living a life aligned with your values, a life where you are not at the mercy of your impulses, but are guided by your principles. And that's a powerful way to live. So, let's take these lessons to heart, reflect on them, apply them, and watch as the quality of your interactions and the respect you earn from others transforms. If you found value in our conversation today, remember to subscribe and share this video with someone who might benefit from these timeless Stoic insights. Together, let's strive for a life of virtue, resilience, and respect. Thank you for joining me on this journey toward personal growth and empowerment. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic, and remember, the power to change your life lies in your own hands.